About 2 months ago, I stopped eating dinner almost every night of the week so that my boyfriend and I could have enough food left over to have lunch the next day. This was before we were about to lose our food stamps. Mind you, we both work.
I don't think that we really realize the depths that this is, the damage that this is going to do, but the women, the mothers, and the families, but the mothers especially, who are going to go without meals so their children don't have to.
So I just finally got confirmation that food stamps is officially cut for next month. And the thing about a lot of stereotypes is they say that if you're on SNAP benefits, you don't work hard, you sit on your butt and you just collect checks, when that's not the case. I work hard every single day. I get up every single day and clean houses, and I still rely on food stamps to feed my 6 children because the prices are so high. It's unrealistic to think about not having food stamps. Next month, I'm so terrified because 6 babies are always eating. Plus myself, I eat about 1 meal a day.
Yesterday, November the 1st, food aid for over 41 million Americans lapsed, and states are unable to fill that void. So let's get right into today's video. There are huge debates happening online about food stamp benefits, the recipients, and just everything surrounding food benefits. It's actually scary. Some of the comments that I have read, it's scary to know that certain people have this mentality about the people that receive them and the people that need help. And the fact that they walk amongst us is just really, really scary. So many people don't have a heart. There's so many heartless people out there. And it just really makes you think about where we are going and where we are heading as a society. And I will go ahead and say that collectively, there are only 5 states that are issuing food stamp benefits this month. And I will go ahead and name those states. Delaware, New Mexico, Louisiana, Virginia, and Vermont are the only states that will pay for some or all of November food stamp benefits. District of Columbia said they will pay for some or all of November food aid. Again, we don't know. I don't think any other states are stepping up in this capacity. However, there are a lot of food pantries and food drives, even though they are stretched to the max. A lot of communities are supporting, the people that are in need at this time. And it just, that kind of restores your faith in humanity a little bit. But it's like, I know in Matthews in Charlotte area, it was on my local news this morning that, they were able to serve several families. They each received it looked like a little wooden token that would, the amount was $50, and they were able to purchase local fresh fruits and vegetables. So I may be able to insert a clip here. However, if I don't, or if I'm not able to remember, you can pull the actual news story up if you go to WCNC.com. So make sure to check that out. But again, your best resources is just going to be at a network. Look in your local community, check with your church to see if they know of anybody that is putting together these food drives, because like I said, it is a community right now that are saving, people and helping people during this time. The good news is that on Friday, 2 federal judges ruled that the administration could not block November SNAP benefits and that they must use about $5 billion in agency contingency funds to pay for them. And they are requiring updates by tomorrow, which is November the 3rd, on compliance with their rulings. So we may find out a little bit more about this come tomorrow. However, keep in mind that the USDA issued a memo on October the 24th that they will not be reimbursing the states that have contributed or who have stepped forward to pay for the month of November benefits for their community. So keep that in mind. So I think food stamps will be a thing in November. However, when they will be issued and how much will be issued is still remains unknown. Hopefully people will be able to get the benefits that they need. I do think there is just a huge stigma about food stamps. And I always tell people you are probably 1 or 2 paychecks from, a major crisis that leads you to the point of needing food stamps. And I just don't understand the mentality and thought process of people being okay with their neighbors and friends and family members starving. Like literally going without food is insane to me. Like the fact that we are, in this position in America anyways, because so many people, over 41 million people rely on food stamp benefits. It's like, what is happening?
About 2 months ago, I stopped eating dinner almost every night of the week so that my boyfriend and I could have enough food left over to have lunch the next day, because I I personally need to eat more in the middle of the day to be able to accomplish all that I have to do during the day. By dinner time, nighttime, whatever. If I'm hungry, I can just fall asleep through it. It doesn't really matter. This was before we were about to lose our food stamps. Mind you, we both work. I've worked since I was 14 years old. I have a college degree. But because we have children and because aftercare and before care is too expensive, I've taken a job that's basically minimum wage so that I can be there to pick up my kids. I cannot fathom what we're going to do without that food stamp money, because if I already couldn't eat dinner with that food stamp money. So yeah, I'm glad some of you are happy.
This young lady that was on here, she's got a college degree, everything that you've been sold growing up. She's got a college degree, she works, she's got a working partner. Food, no. And to me, that almost signifies that we are in a third world country in America. There is just a huge debate about, people's tax dollars, and people are like, people need to get off their butts and stop having kids that they can't take care of. And I'm all like, yes, I completely understand that. However, life events and life circumstances, change that for some people. I do realize that some people abuse the system, but overall, people need these benefits, and that's why they are on them. So I don't know what the percentage is. Maybe 1 to 2% might be abusing, while the other 99% truly need these benefits. And I just want to break this down, because people seem to think that they have thousands and thousands of their hard-earned money going to food stamps. Based on a little research, there are a couple of different numbers that I want to throw at you guys. $36 per year based on several estimates is the average amount paid. $389.43 for the year 2022, and then $516 for the year 2023. That is a tax analysis per taxpayer that goes to, the Food and Agriculture Department that, funds these food stamp benefits. So there is a wide range of estimates, and that most likely is due to, different calculation methods. So however you want to look at it, anywhere from $36 to about $516, rounded up to $520. If a lot of people are paying $36, just look at that as being the equivalent of grabbing a couple of burgers at a drive-through restaurant, because food in drive-throughs or restaurant are astronomical. And really $36 is so minimal to contribute, financially, to help a family that, put food on the table, essentially. $516. I know times are tight and people are struggling, but it doesn't all come out of our paychecks at one time either. It's over the year, so that makes a little bit of a difference too. So, we have people in money that is going to other countries, other nations, things that we have being built in the United States that we don't need, like the ballroom. That money can be funded and, allocated differently, in my opinion. You guys let me know what you think in the comments down below about what is happening, what is going on. I want to leave you guys with some food for thought before I wrap this video up, because this whole entire situation is really, pulling on my heartstrings, and it just does not sit right with me. You guys know that nobody is coming to save anyone. You cannot depend on the government. We have seen that time and time again. And that's why I've been saying for months and months and months, you cannot depend on the government. I will go ahead and say this. Do not forget, during all of this, what's going on with the food stamps and, people struggling, food banks are overwhelmed from the shutdown and just from people losing their jobs. Not one time has the government offered to even set aside or pull out any of their reserves of that underground bunker or the food stockpiles that they have. During this whole time, I just want that to be food for thought, and for you guys to think about that. Let that sink in for you. In case you need more confirmation that the government is not going to help, let that sink in. They do have food reserves. They do have food set aside, and they have not offered not one bit of that to the American citizens. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up, you guys. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. Please consider giving this video a like and thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe. I would love to have you here. Take care, stay safe, and I will see you guys in the next video.
I have recorded this video so many times. So this is gonna be the video that I'm gonna get out. I am a single mother who relies on SNAP benefits. I live in a women's shelter with my 2 children one of which who will be 5 next week, and an almost 7-year-old. I work. I am continuing my education so that I can be the person that gets us out and gets us on our feet. But while I work and while I'm working to continue my education, I am restricted by their school schedules, restrictions imposed on me from living in a women's shelter. We have curfews that we have to abide by. We have to be inside the building at a certain time. I cannot have childcare come to me if I needed to pick up an extra shift. And because of curfew restrictions and other restrictions put in place, I can't take them somewhere to pick up a shift. So SNAP benefits are what gives me a footing. And while I receive child support, it's not enough. It's not enough to supplement with my paychecks and the frequency of which I am paid and the taxes that I pay on my paychecks. And I am not the only one, because I live in a women's shelter of women who rely on those benefits to take care of their children. Because we found ourselves in positions where fathers refused to take on more responsibility. And it's not just those situations. There are so many situations in which families rely on those benefits who are families. And as many times as I've recorded this video and as heated as I have gotten, there's no reason why anyone should have to go without, because our elected officials are refusing to release the funding necessary to keep these programs floating, and to use blame and shame and guilt trips for the states who are trying to do what they can to subsidize these funds.